What is up, everyone? It's a beautiful, finally beautiful spring day here in northern Michigan. Yeah, we've been waiting a long time for this. Hopefully, you all can hear me. I just wanted to, if you can hear me, if someone can put in the comments that you can. I do have a microphone hooked up, so hopefully the audio sounds okay. But just wanted to jump on here. Obviously, turkey season is coming up really quickly, and we're really excited for it. Awesome, Zach said, sounds good, man. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, turkey season right around the corner. Can't wait. Obviously, we get past the winter blues here. Deer season's over. We really just get ramped back up and looking to get back into hunting mode. And turkey hunting for me is one of my favorite things to go after and pursue. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate you commenting that the audio is good. I'm glad to hear that. But for me, turkey hunting is super awesome. It's a vocal adventure. There's nothing like being able to communicate back and forth with the animal. That's why I like elk hunting. Elk hunting is my favorite thing to pursue. And so, predator hunting is a lot of fun too, just because of the vocalization. So, turkey hunting for me fits right in. And I love using decoys, and I'm excited to talk to everyone about the kind of the decoys that we offer here at Sable River Outfitters, and then also how I use the products in the field. So, can I kind of go over the line that we offer here real quick? We start off with the HS strut. So I'm going to go from price point all the way up to top tier. Super expensive, but I'm going to explain to everyone why they're super expensive. So we have the HS strut. You can see here, I just pulled this one out of the box. It's not a full hard body decoy. It's more of like a thicker plastic price point, and there's nothing wrong with that. Very good looking decoy. Has a little bit of shine to it, but that's okay. Sometimes in this sunnier or brighter weather, when you look at turkeys, you can see the reflection. You can see that they're bright. Their feathers reflect that sun, and you get that pretty cool color. You get the reds, the greens. They're just a very beautiful animal. But as you can see, it comes out of the box. It's got a few, looks kind of defective, but it's not. All you got to do is take like a heat gun or, turn a hot shower on or something. Get this body to loosen up a little bit, so that way it can hold its form. It's almost there. And the biggest thing would be just so that way when you put it on the steak is included, that it has the form of a turkey body. So that way, when you got that turkey or that tom looking over your decoy setup, it actually looks like a real hen decoy. So we have that. We have a semi-aggressive jake, and then we also have a feeding hen. And the different type of decoys that are out there. And two, feel free if anyone has questions, put them in the comment section here, as we are live on YouTube and Facebook. It may be a slight delay, but I'm going to try and answer those questions for everyone. So the different types of decoys that are out there is we have a lookout hen, we have a breeding hen, we also have a feeding hen. Those are the three different types of hens. Then you also have some submissive hen, I think Avian X. I don't have that box out here, but there's also a submissive hen decoy too. But a lookout hen, that's going to look, obviously she is going to be more upright. She is upright, very visible in the field. So as we get later in the year too, grasses start to get a little bit taller and everything. The lookout hen, she's your lead gal out there. She's the one that's running the ship. She's telling the boys what to do. She's taking them where she wants to go. She's the boss. So if you've been turkey hunting before, I'm sure you've all seen that lookout hen, just like a beta doe. She's the lead doe in the group, or the lead cow in an elk herd. She's always on lookout for danger and just trying to protect the flock. So really common decoy to have in your setup. Again, very tall. Turkeys can see it from a long ways away, so good one to keep in the arsenal. Next one, and I'm showing you here more of the top tier line, just because these are full body decoys. They're hard shell, very durable, very realistic looking, and that's one of the reasons why they're more on the higher end of the price spectrum, is that they're very detailed. They're painted, they're hard, and when a turkey, my brother always gives me crap. He's like, man, we used to kill turkeys with the $12 styrofoam decoy that we just stuffed in the back of our turkey vest. And that's true, and we did kill turkeys over those, but I am a firm believer on the better your decoy looks, the more realistic that your decoy looks, kind of increases your odds, odds and hopefully luring that, more mature, older tom to your decoy setup. Or, if you get a bird that's hung up at that 60, 70 yard marker, hopefully he breaks that line, because that decoy looks a lot more realistic. Also, too, with these hard body decoys, they sit on a stake pretty loosely. So if you get any wind motion or anything like that, that turkey's going to turn and just give it a realistic motion. So again, that's part of the reason why these are, more expensive, is because there's so much more detail and so much more that goes into these hard body decoys. And, I would personally say that they will increase your chance just because of the realism and the detail that's into these decoys. You can really see on this one here, this is a Jake. This is more of an aggressive look. Jake decoy, Avian X here, but you can just kind of tell, look at the color in it. A lot of sunny days, them Jakes like to get out and go sunning, and you'll see that red and that gold and sometimes that green in their feathers. So just super realistic. If you're a public land hunter, got to be careful out there, because you never know. With these things looking so good, you may have someone else sneak up on you. So just always be aware using these more realistic decoys. Here we have the Higdon Outdoors Apex Strutter. This is a full strutter. This is one of my more favorite decoy to run in the springtime. And I'll go into a little bit more detail here shortly about when to use these different types of decoys. But for me, early season, this full strutter is a perfect decoy to have in your setup. You almost should have, as long as that the birds are still in their bachelor and bigger groups. If you see the 2 to 3 toms together with 4 to 5 hens, this is a great opportunity to use a full strutter. But what I like about this decoy here is that it has a magnetic clip here in the back. Obviously, you can see that this is a real fan here. It does come with a fan, so if you don't have a real fan that you've dried from a previous turkey, it does come with a fan. But one of the key features is that magnetic clip there, so it's super sturdy. And then the other feature is that it has a handle. So if you are running a gunner, say you got a gobbler, hammering 2 or 3 ridges over, just being able to pick up that decoy, put your stake in the stake holder and grab that, and you'll be able to go fairly easy. And then the other thing about this strutter decoy is as you can see on there, and it kind of has an indent on the point of the stake, this orange piece, and inside there is a point. So when you slide that into the hole here, that decoy is going to sit pretty loosely. So you get that fan on there, that thing is just going to spin in a light breeze. So just, you put this on a 2-track road, where turkeys like to go sunny and get down in the sand. They like to strut. We like to a lot of times find strut zones where turkeys go after they've bred their hens for their morning. They go to find these different strutting zones, and if you can locate those, this is a great opportunity to use one of these Apex strutters. What's up, Blake? Blake says hi. How you doing, buddy? again, this has a magnetic clip, so be able to slip that right in. Works really good on a realistic fan. So, and then there she is. She's in place. So, yeah, one of my favorite decoys. And then Flex Tone has done a really good job making a affordable hard body decoy too. This here is a feeding hen, and obviously you can see the head's down. She's in the feeding position. And then we have the jig. You know, these are great decoys. I know a lot of guys that use this Flex Tone decoy and have killed a lot of birds. So. And then lastly, the other type of decoy that we have from AvianX, this is a soft shell. Basically, this decoy is great for running and gunning because it's collapsible. What do I mean by collapsible is, obviously you can see it's just collapsed down. What it has, so this is fresh right out of the package here. Takes a little bit of air. So it has this little valve right there. You can hear some of the air come out. I don't know if I'll be able to blow it all up. I don't want to pass out on camera, but basically you take and blow air into it. With it being brand new, obviously she's a little stiff. Getting her worked out and warmed up, she'll expand pretty easily. So again, this is AvianX and Higdon Outdoors. They do a great job with building their decoys. They're super detailed, but they are a little bit more on the higher end on the price point. So depends on budget. We do cover both ends, but like I said at the beginning, the HS Strut and Flex Tone are great decoys. You know, it all depends on how detailed of a decoy you want to get. So I want to talk about now the difference between all of the different styles. I mentioned that there is a lookout hen, there is a breeding hen, which I don't have any with me today, and then there's the feeding hen. Those are three of the types. Early season, I like to have more decoys in the setup than I normally would in the late season. And what I mean by that is when I'm out doing my scouting and I'm seeing bigger flocks, I'm seeing 2 to 3, maybe 4, 5 toms sometimes. Maybe you got 2 long beards and you got 3 jakes, and then you got and a bunch of hens. So they're still in their social flocks, and season is opened, and I know that they're still in their flocks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a full strutter, obviously, and he's got the red, white, and blue head, so it shows aggressiveness. So he's very aggressive. And then I'm going to run anywhere from 2 to 3 hen decoys with that one strutter. And what that is doing is it's showing the flock that, hey, there's a new tom, there's a new guy on the city block, and he has pulled some of the ladies away from the flock that he's been managing there since winter, coming into the breeding season. So having that full strutter is ideal in early season. Again, just showing that there's that new kid on the block. He's pulled some ladies away from the group, and he's showing aggressiveness. And so a lot of times you'll get those more mature toms to break away and come in, and that's where you, like if you've seen on YouTube and other things like that. I also do have a video here we'll show you here shortly, showing this perfect situation that where we pulled the aggressive toms off of the group because we had a breeding hen and a feeding hen out on the road. So That's early season. I don't like to run one decoy during the early season, again, because like I mentioned, if you are seeing multiple turkeys in the groups showing a bigger flock of decoys, will probably increase your chances pulling in a long beard or a mature tom to your setup. With that, like I mentioned, I said I'd probably run 2 to 3 hen decoys. I'll have a lookout hen because you got to have the boss lady there, a feeding hen, and then probably a hen decoy that's in the breeding position. And like I said, I don't have that decoy with me, but that breeding hen is a smaller decoy. She's basically laying down on the ground in that submissive position, showing the group that she is, be ready for mating. So I'll have all three: the feeding, lookout, and a breeding, plus the full strutter. That's a deadly combination, but it is a lot to carry in the woods. So hopefully you got a friend that wants to come and do some calling for you, or a friend that wants to come and just be along with the hunt to help you carry the decoys, because it can get pretty ridiculous in how much stuff we carry out there. So that's moving through the first season. Obviously, right now here in Michigan, as you're driving the roads right now, you are seeing those big flocks, and turkey season starts here. I want to say the 21st, I believe it is. Let me just double check. 22nd, turkey season starts. So that's 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks away still. Keep your eye out as you're driving these roads, as you're doing your scouting. Pay attention if we get warmer weather, because we have gotten reports already that people have seen toms had hens pinned down in the breeding position already. So there could be some breeding action going on right now, which means come that first week to possibly second week, we could really start to see those flocks break up. And then if you start to see those flocks break up, you're going to want to reduce your decoy setup. And when you reduce that decoy setup, things you're going to want to look at is there a very mature tom in the area? If there's a bird that you've been hunting for 2 to 3 years, he's the king of the castle. He kicks everyone's butt. Then that's when I'll still introduce the full strutter decoy, because there's, again, a new guy trying to come and claim this territory. If I know that there's not a mature tom, but there are longbeards in the area, I'll leave that full strutter in the truck, and I'll grab like a Jake decoy, or I'll just run a couple hens. And what I mean by that, I'll just run one lookout hen and I'll run one breeding hen, as I know that those flocks have been broken up a little bit. So a Jake hen, here's another, again, perfect example. This is the Avian X. He is in the more aggressive position. And what Avian X has done too, it's super cool, is that they have removable heads. And it comes with a more submissive head here. So that means this is showing if there is any long beards. Just got to find the groove. Yeah. So now you can see this is the more submissive. So that means this boy's gotten his butt kicked a few times. And longbeards, if they see this from a distance, again, if they're at the 80, 90, 60 yard range and they're hung up, longbeards will see that he's submissive. He has a breeding hen with him, decoy. That could be the ticket to get that bird to cross that line and come within range. So, again, pay attention. Scouting is key. If you're seeing birds, again, reacting different as the season goes along, just pay attention to those small details and choose your decoy setup upon that. So having a more submissive Jake decoy and a breeding hen is a great tactic as we get a little bit farther into the season. Anyone got any questions? I know we've had a few comments, but any questions yet? All right, so think of those questions. I'm going to play a short video here, and it shows a couple different setups, decoy setups, and in particular, pay attention to the last one. Look how, I'm not going to give any details away, but just pay attention to that last decoy setup and how everything is.
There's these two tops, or there's one end with them. Let's get out of here. Out of here, you can get there. Saw that as we're coming down that hill right there. I feel like they were off a little bit. I think they're still up this way. It's definitely that way. Turn around. Some other one. Yeah. They don't come in, this is gonna be fucking stupid.
So obviously, did not kill in that, but it was a challenge my buddy and I wanted to try and do, was kill a bird with the bow, have me film it, and have the decoys within 10 yards. Now you can see on that setup, on that final setup, we chose not to introduce the Jake decoy. We had that Jake decoy in the setup prior. So we were thinking that with those 3 to 4 toms that were in that group, that they were not the dominant bird in the area. So those birds have been probably fighting, getting their butts kicked. So we took that Jake decoy out of the situation, so that way the toms felt more comfortable coming in to the decoys that close in range. Obviously, they saw something or caught a reflection off my camera or whatever it may be. Obviously, with them being that close to you, it is very challenging. But I thought it was a really good example showing the difference having the Jake decoy in the decoy setup versus it not being a decoy setup. And that time of the year, that was during the first season. I believe it was second week. I can't remember. It was back in 2019. I know the dates flashed on it, but still wasn't very late into the season. So it was a fun hunt for sure. And that was, that's part of this in turkey hunting. You always have to be willing to adapt while you're out there. Some people, for me, from my experience, I've always been a run and gun type of turkey hunter. So I'm always trying to adapt to the situation. Now, if you have the opportunity to hunt farm fields where turkeys are, flying down into a farm field and strutting their way into your decoy setup, that is great. Again, that's where a full strutter comes into comes into play with a lookout hen, because they're tall. Turkeys can see them from a very long ways. So those are great turkey decoys to have in. Any questions yet? I know no one's really left anything, but I just want to try to make sure that I know not everyone is able to watch this live because it's 5 o'clock. People are starting to get off work. But if you do watch this, after we finish this video, make sure you leave a comment. If you have a question, I'd be more than happy to try and answer it to the best of my ability. But I just wanted to jump on here and kind of show the different types of decoys that are offered here at Sable River Outfitters, and kind of explain the difference about each of them. Obviously, there's different styles and postures that are offered. So, again, there's the hen series. There's the breeding hen, which we have upstairs. We have the lookout hen, which she is the boss lady in the flock. She's always looking for danger, always paying attention to help protect her flock. She's the boss. And then there is the feeding hen, which she's just a more casual, kind of gives that comfort to the flock that everything is okay. They're feeding, just pecking away, doing their thing. So that's again another one to have in your arsenal. So tom decoys, there's the Jake decoy that you can have a submissive look to it or a more aggressive look to it. And then we have the full strutter, which is a more aggressive tactic when you place that full strutter out there with the red, blue, and white head on it. Mike says, thanks, Declan. Declan is wanting to get on some birds, and this was really helpful. Heck yeah. Glad I could help. And yeah, it's turkey hunting. It's a ton of fun, and we really enjoy it. Next Monday, it's going to be the same thing, but we're going to do calling tactics. I'm going to go over diaphragm calls, what kind of calls you can make on that. I'm not the best on them, but I can, make some good sounds on it. Slate call, that's one of my favorite ones to run, just because you can really control the loudness of it. You can get super soft. You can get real aggressive on those slate calls and really reach them out at a long distance with the high pitch noise that you can get out of those. Box call, owl hooters, all different things to try and strike up a bird. And I'll kind of walk through as you have a bird located, and how I typically like to do my sequences and bringing that bird in within range. So that's going to be next Monday, same time, 5 p.m. I'd love to do it later, but we got to still close the store and run it here. So we really appreciate everyone that comes here to Sabo River Outfitters. If you are new to the page and have not been to the store yet, stop on down. We call it the new hidden gem in northern Michigan. We have a unique eatery here, and that obviously I'm in the covered patio area where you can dine in and enjoy one of the great meals that Christina and her staff provides. And then obviously we have a beautiful store out front and Four Season outdoor retail store. So if you have not been to a Sabo River Outfitters yet, highly encourage you to come down to Mayo, Michigan and check us out. So until next week, everyone stay safe and enjoy.